please forgive me. I think Ben Gibson.
Can we do this one and I'll come there? Yes, we'll do this one first.
Bo Causey.
Yeah, I'm Bo
Please
Causey,
forgive me.
and
You're Bo Causey, that's Ben Gibson. Okay, Bo Causey.
resident of 26 years, and I think if you ask everybody to stand up here, you'd find that 99.9% of the people are from College Park. So it does show we really are interested in this. And I think, I don't want your head to get big on this, but I think probably in the years I've been here, you're probably the best city manager I've seen come in here. But there is a but to that. There is a but, always, you know.
It's a constant process.
The thing about this is, I'm like a lot of them have mentioned, we've sat on all these different plans and we've seen things that were going to take place, but it hadn't come. So I would think, with us being here and everything, as good as you are, we are going to hold you accountable. We have to. If we don't, we never get anything done.
And you know, ladies and gentlemen, I expect that. I've made several comments regarding citizen participation, citizen role and responsibility throughout the course of tonight's dialogue. That's very important. And I think we've initiated good work to get to that place by building relationships, being vested in the community. On a light note, I actually bought a house right away as soon as I got to College Park within the corporate limits and so on. Walking distance from here, so spend a lot of time with a lot of different people, so it's easy to have that happen because it's more than just a city manager professional relationship. I'm also a resident as well, and I appreciate having that opportunity as a homeowner in that and really making a difference. And so I do expect that level of accountability and participation, thus the welcomeness and receptiveness of having this type of forum tonight, and then speaking specifically about base and so on. So again, a continuous process. It's a lot of work to be done, but I appreciate the kind words and support in the meantime, Mr. Causey. So thank you. Now, Mr. Ben Gibson. Sir.
It's good to see you.
You too, sir.
I'm Ben Gibson, and we're fairly new to this area for about 7-8 months since we've been able to live in our home. And so my question is really simple. What can we do as residents to help in this process? I know you mentioned kind of, being the eyes and ears of things that are going on in the neighborhood, but are there any things that we can do to kind of bring energy or just bring, put some sweat equity into our community?
Yes, sir. We talked, of course, about private sector investment. That will be a requirement. That will be a level of commitment necessary to go forward with tax allocation district or any other strategies we come up with above and beyond. So, beginning in February, we talked a little bit about making recommendations regarding different boards, committees, and that, playing a role in that regard, making yourself available for any opportunities that may come about to that effect. In order to implement a successful redevelopment program, effective administration of a tax allocation district, applicable board memberships will be required to participate in that regard.
I just want to follow up with Dr. Gully's question, because I think the thing that's sticking in my mind so much is that we're going to have the county and the school board to make this happen. So I'm just wondering, with past experience, what are some of the barriers or the reasons, just devil's advocate, why we might not have them on board, or how can we prepare an argument so that we're sure that they will support this, because we have to have them from what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am. Artie's enthusiastic. I'll let you go first.
Well, this is College Park is the third community that I've worked in since I've been in city government as economic development director, and all three of the communities that I've worked in have toyed with setting up a tax allocation districts. Most of the time, communities voted against it because they felt it was some bad thing, and that they had these major developers to come in to take over. But that's not necessarily the case. The thing about it is that we have to, the city of College Park, we want this tax allocation district to work. It's really going to take a lot of the citizens being supportive and actually talking to those boards, like the school board and the county, telling them how supportive they are of this particular program. If you think of course, the Board of Education wants to get more tax dollars so they can build more schools and they can pay more teachers and hopefully increase, education within this area. But if you look at the underperforming areas in College Park, and and the taxes that's being collected from it, and you see that it's not, that the school board isn't really getting any taxes anyway from it, what is it gonna hurt to have more development, to be able to have more jobs for the people, to be able to have more, things for the community to do? So I think it's up to us to make that, we have to make that case. Now, let's say hypothetically, the Board of Education says, we don't want to participate. Well, at that point, we can still move forward with a tax allocation district, but we would only have the city and the county's allocation of that, of those taxes.
So just because one entity says no, doesn't mean it's gone.
Just less.
Yeah, it's just less.
But we need it all.
Because I think the Board of Education is just 50%
You want it all.
of taxes.
I think the school board will support us, and I believe Fulton County will support us. And the thing that Fulton County has to understand, if it's more sales, they have a splash. They get to cut, the more sales there are, the more money they will get. But I have very strong belief that the school system and the county will support College Park in this endeavor.
So in essence, not only because of precedent already been set in Fulton County to get this done, as Mayor eloquently pointed out, it's in their economic best interest to be supportive in this regard. The more economic activity, the application of the tool, the better it is for them to achieve their goals and objectives. And we'll offer financial analysis to demonstrate that. So that's part of the package, so therefore I would be really surprised to see them not be in affirmative. So thank you, ma'am, it's a great question. Let's see, yes ma'am, and then Harry Sheffield, please.
Thank you for this. This has been very informative, but I think a couple of people have talked about accountability.
Yeah.
And is there an opportunity, after you said there was a February milestone, for us to have another town meeting or some other setting where we can definitively know what type of progress has been made in early 2015?
Yes, ma'am. So I would encourage you, the first step is February 2nd workshop meeting. It's actually a public meeting. So for those of you all who have an interest in truly following the progress of our efforts, I would encourage you all to attend that first of all. Second of all, there will be a series of meetings thereafter, some involving mayor and city councils, others involving this type of forum. So that will be part of the package as well, because it's necessary to get to the redevelopment planning process too. So that would be possible, ma'am, and that's part of the package.
Every time you say package, I'm thinking I'm getting something. It's your terminology. You keep saying package, I am expecting a something in the package.
That's a metaphor, ma'am.
Okay, all right, I'm great with metaphors, but something concrete, frequently asked questions. If you want the support, you're going to have to educate us and not assume that we're all going to go and do the research. Just a simple primer, FAQs, we're going to do this, this, and this. Here's when we propose to do it. This is how long it's going to take. Here are the people that are working on it. Just very simple.
That's what we're working on.
Can I make a suggestion? That's what we do month in and month out at every single council meeting that we have.
I travel 90%
A lot of the
time.
Okay, understood. We have council meetings twice a month. There isn't a council meeting that goes by that we're not spurring economic development with lots of initiatives. We want to see this kind of a crowd at our council meetings. Every first and third Mondays, we may see a 1/10 of this many people show up. When you can see the type of initiatives that are coming before us, how we're deliberating, how we're voting on them, and how we're trying to bring these businesses into the city. TADs only spur private development to come into a city. We can't magically make a business come into a city. Cities don't do that. City government does not do that. We just have to make it conducive for businesses to come in. That's what a TAD is all about. That's why the lighting improvements, that's what that is all about, to spur businesses in and to bring residents in. I think the county school board will absolutely accept that TAD, as well as the Fulton County Commission. It helps with their school board and their school system. If businesses come in here, families come in. If families come in, you get more school enrollment. So it's good for everybody. It's good for the county. I was just with our county commissioner-elect today, actually, and we talked about what we're having this evening. He could not make it, but this is something that we do week in and week out. I would really love to see you all come to the council meetings and see exactly what we do minute for minute, week for week here to spur economic development, so you can see it for yourselves.
Thank you, Councilman Carn, well said. Yes, ma'am, and then I believe Mary Sheffield, will you be speaking? Ma'am.
Hi, Renee Curlin again. My mother's lived in College Park for 35 years, and I would just like to say that it's interesting that a month ago we got a letter talking about planning and downtown development, and we came and there were about 8 people here,
Yeah.
and sort of not much of anything happened. And then we got a letter last week that was much more specific, much more detailed, and we said, wow, maybe this is what we were looking for last month. So I think, sharing details of what you're going to be talking about, as this lady was saying, educate through your mailings, generate excitement, and I think you'll have this kind of turnout. Because I think a lot of people do care and a lot of people do want, good things for College Park. Also, I do have to say that there was a discrepancy. One place said that the meeting started at 6, and in the newspaper it said 7:30, so I had to call. Anyway, there was some confusion around the beginning of the meeting time. That's really bad. I appreciated the lighting. I saw the guys putting it up today. Yay. The other thing is that this gentleman was asking about how to be involved and supportive of the whole process here. Just as a concerned citizen one night, I saw some guys, they're rolling a big garbage can down the street at like 11:30 at night. Well, that's kind of weird. What's in that garbage can? Who are they? So I call the call the cops. I call the non-emergency number, and they got on it. One day I was down at the park on Rugby, and I saw that there was lots of poison ivy down. It was growing in the shrubbery, and it was where little children like yours would be really tempted to run their hands along the poison ivy. I went home and I called, but there was great signage at the park. It gave me the number to call. I got out my cell phone. I called them. The next time I was at the park 2 days later, it was taken care of. So, I think that there are definitely very responsive elements in the city, and I want to acknowledge that and appreciate the people who are doing that.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate the kind words. Councilman White, and then Mary Sheffield. Councilman White.
Just want to comment also, just want to make sure I follow up. When we talked about some of the low-hanging fruit, I was also interested to me about how dirty Main Street is to trash cans overflowing. I don't know if they had a chance to announce that the mayor council, the last council meeting, approved for the public works department to hire a person to do nothing but clean up Main Street. So,
Yes, sir. That was the unanimous authorization by Mayor and City Council December 1st. Part of what we hope to present as far as concrete background resources and that. So, given the presence tonight and how effective communication was offered and everyone in attendance, I like to think we're off to a good start. So again, take this as an example for encouragement to keep moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. That is my request to you all. Mary Sheffield.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mary Sheffield. I live on College Street. I've lived here for 20 years. I attend every meeting just about until I was not able to attend every meeting, but I still try to get to everything I can possibly do. Since 2008, I've been everywhere. I have been in all the meetings that we've had here. I've been in the neighborhood association meetings. I've been in the DMO meetings. I've been everywhere because I believe in putting in the time and the effort to learn things. And I, to be honest with you, have grown weary because in my community, I hear not the words that are being said today, but I hear on this side about that side and vice versa. Until our community decides to pull together and stop thinking about somebody stepped on my toes 5 years ago and somebody did this to my mama when I was 4, or he's this color and that person's that color and this person thinks that and I think that, nothing is going to change. So until we as a community decide we want better for not only ourselves, but our fellow man, and we're gonna start pointing fingers at ourselves before we point fingers at other people, nothing is gonna change. Like, how many times have you supported the local business? How many times have you done this? How many times have you gone out? How many times have you called the police or called somebody about poison ivy? Congratulations on that. You know, also with Artie, I mean, what steps are going to be put into place so that, I mean, you're an up-and-coming young man. You won't be here that long. What steps are going to be in place that make sure it carries on past you? You know? Wait a second. I'm just saying, we get young, innovative, great people coming to work here, but the reason that they're great and we want them is because they do have a forward vision. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying, until we all come together and none of us until I don't get defensive toward Iris and Iris doesn't get defensive toward me, and until I can stand up and say, you know, Joe Carn made sense on that particular one. It surprised me that we agreed, but we did. And Joe and I have done that together and laughed about it. Until we come together for something other than pointing fingers at somebody else, we're not going to have any change. And we can come to the next meeting and we can all. But until we change our own tone toward our fellow man and toward the other people and let go of all the things, nothing is going to change. So please join in me in looking for not being weary and going forward in a positive way, because we have so much potential if we just get out of our own ways and strive for making it happen.
Okay.
Thanks for those very kind remarks. Now, I don't plan on going anywhere, and you may have heard something that I haven't heard. But these guys just signed a contract for me for 1 more year, so I plan on being around for a little while longer. And I'm not planning on going anywhere. But at the same time, I believe that College Park is the place to be. It is definitely the place to be. This community, although it is a smaller community, all the other communities that are around it want to be like College Park. I'm not sure if you know that or not. I mean, really, I'm not just saying that because I'm here in front of you today, but East Point, Hateville, all of these communities on the outside, they want to be like College Park. And the thing is, everybody wants to be a part of a winning team. I want to be a part of a winning team, and I want to be here to help the winning. I mean, I want to try to quarterback this thing and help us to win and move forward. So I'm not planning on going anywhere. And the thing about it is, as far as responsiveness about the poison ivy at the park, you'll find that citywide. Any department head, any city employee that you ask about anything, we're very responsive. We're probably more responsive than you would like for us to be most of the time. And it's all because of our leadership here, Terrence Moore, and also mayor and council down here. So the thing is that I'm here to support it. I'm here to support the community and do what I can. And at the same time, I'm going to come to you with some bad news sometimes. I'm going to tell you the bad side of things and not just the good things. Because I feel that that'll help us to be able to move forward and to overcome a lot of these obstacles in the future.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have time for one more question, followed up by some concluding remarks in terms of where we go once again. Sandy Cole.
I just want to tell you that College Park is different. It is the people that live here that make the difference. Whenever we have visitors to come in, and the first question they always ask, do you feel safe here? It's like, it's kind of creepy. It's like, no, you don't know. People walk the sidewalks. They talk to you. We know our neighbors. We know our policemen, our mail carrier. It is a community. We can walk to the store. It is a community. And it doesn't matter your economic stand. It's just that we're all people working together. We all want something better downtown in College Park. I have a question. Are we fully staffed, or can we get Oscar additional help for code enforcement? That might be a baby step that might make a big difference.
Right now, I think we're in a fairly decent position as far as being efficient with the operation. At this time, we are doing as much as we possibly can to pull out the stops as far as the legal process is concerned. That's probably where we require more assistance. Not so much throwing more people at it, but the type of approach and assertiveness in identifying who the culprits are. So I talked a little bit about that. We've just given a couple good examples of getting to a better place in that regard. So my interest at this time is to give that opportunity a chance to continue to be successful, and that way we'll know as to any need for additional baby steps or not. But I think we're on a good trajectory, if you will.
And we will put our city services up to anybody in the state.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. So, last chance, one more, and that is from Alicia Rylander, if you would. Alicia Rylander. Then I'll go into my conclusion comments. Okay.
You had said the TOD covers a quarter mile from the MARTA station, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So I know this is off of the TOD plan, but what are you doing about the area down near Lyle and Mercer and Walker area? Because those buildings are just as vacant and need a lot of attention. They've been vacant since I've been here. I've been here 7 years. And some of those businesses from Mercer to Lyle have been empty since.
Part of the redevelopment plan, ma'am, which will tie into everything else I just talked about.
And this is an easy community to get involved in. I mean, I lived in Henry County for 15 years, and I couldn't have told you anybody that's been a city councilor or getting involved. It's a great community, so thanks for your support.
And thank you for your involvement, Ms. Alicia Rylander.
Please,
there it is.
One thing, Terrence, that's very attractive to businesses from the CID perspective is, and this is no offense to city government, but small businesses and large businesses love the CID concept because they have a private board that they take the extra funding, like Dr. Gully's on, and businesses like the idea of other businesses controlling the fate of that money.
Yes, sir.
So tell me a little bit about, I understand that what we'll do is issue a bond and the extra tax will pay that back. Who actually takes that bond money and how is it spent and who takes that and has, I guess, authority over that money?
Artie.
Actually, once you get the tax allocation district set up and you get a redevelopment plan in place, you set up a redevelopment board. And the redevelopment board is the board that makes sure that the implementation happens. It moves it forward. It's a very public process. And as I was mentioning earlier, you can have actually a redevelopment board separately, or you can have an existing board to actually be responsible for the implementation, which it could be the Business and Industrial Development Authority. It could be a number of organizations, but it's a public board of private, public, and I should say private and public citizens.
And that's how the money is, they determine how the money is spent.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's in the redevelopment plan itself. It identifies where that money is to be spent. And where that money is spent is actually in the public improvements, not in private.
Infrastructure, correct.
Yes.
It won't build buildings.
But it will build sidewalks,
Street, landscaping.
There you go. Okay.
Last, final.
I want to thank the mayor and city council and Terrence Moore and Artie for pulling this all together and putting this on the agenda. I would also ask you to, as you go about put in a tab, which I'm in full support of, and hopefully you would have some new urbanism concepts in there to make the community more walkable and to take advantage of that great MARTA station. But I would also ask, and my name's Rod Mullis, and I'm with Colliers International, and I would also ask that you consider a pay-as-you-go tab, where sometimes when you issue a bond, you have to aggregate all of the projects all at once to make the bond size more efficient from a cost perspective. If you do a pay-as-you-go, when a good project comes up, instead of having to wait until several projects come together, you can do it, go to the bank and do it at that instant. So I hope that you can build some flexibility into the tab, so when you have a good project, you can go immediately and not have to wait till you aggregate several projects.
Yes, sir. Part of the analysis, and we'll take a stab at that as well for the reasons you spoke about. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually beyond time a bit, but a couple conclusion remarks. We talked pretty well this evening relative to different tools and techniques to achieve a higher level of economic development activity. And by the way, Rod Mullis, who represents Colliers International, he's a purveyor, if you will, of the mixed-use transit-oriented development that was recently approved by City Council. He thought it was important to be here tonight to embrace what's going on. So thank you for your time and presence as well. Couple conclusion remarks. So there is a frequently asked questions submission being floated around different areas of the council chamber. Please grab that information so that you can continue to be educated, updated, and enlightened. So those distributions will be facilitated by Iris Baxter and others. There's another economic development tool that is coming to fruition, and that is the Freeport tax exemption. So there's been a lot of commentary about that in recent times because Mayor and City Council unanimously authorized for that provision to be at the March 17th election. It is a special election for the Ward 4 replacement due to the unfortunate loss of Councilman Charles Phillips. However, there is a citywide interest to get to that place. So there will be more discussion and more activity related to that particular subject as we go along. Definitely be aware of that. Other cities throughout metropolitan Atlanta are involved in that because it does provide a strategic competitive edge relative to other economic development activity. Economic activity, economic prosperity and growth is what makes a community achieve and prosper. So we are encouraging to that effect. So therefore, the next opportunity regarding this particular evolution will be the February 2nd City Council Workshop meeting. That is Monday, February 2nd at 6:00 p.m. We'll outline additional concrete materials and other background information necessary to go forward. Otherwise, we've been provided with pretty good direction and guidance in terms of what to accomplish going forward. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I bid everyone adieu. I'll give Mayor and council members an opportunity to offer a few words of conclusion as well, as they are my bosses and I always have to oblige them. And likewise, you all as citizens as well. Otherwise, from my family to yours, have a happy holidays and be safe and stay well. Thank you.
This kind of direction is only the proof in the pudding. I heard Paul talk. I've been here 61 years. I've seen Main Street thrive. I knew when the Five and Dime was down there. You had drugstores. You had 5 or 6 drugstores from Upper Main all the way to John Wesley. You had clothing stores in there, and I think it can thrive again. But all this is money that will be put in an infrastructure, and we have to have private developers. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors who want to do businesses, come to College Park. It'll work, but you all got to come, and everybody's got to invest. Who all is a business owner in College Park is here? Paul, I know you do. Tom, you are. Lovell, you are. Business owners. Stand up if you're a business owner in College Park. We ought to have had half the room stand up. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. Y'all have a great one.
Just want to say thank y'all for coming out. One of the largest crowds I've seen. I think Nicole is already left, but I think if you want to know what's different, I think there are some low-hanging fruit things that we've already done that we did not do in the past. So I think that hopefully that is encouraging. Last thing I want to say is that when we bring new businesses in, we got to support them. You know, I go out and eat, being a single guy, I eat quite a bit out. I see the Grammys out eating. I see Bo and Sandy out eating. I don't see a lot of other people out eating. So I'm just going to encourage you all that if you want businesses in the city, when we bring them, you got to go out and support them. So if you make a New Year's resolution to go out and support a restaurant, go to the barbecue kitchen, go to Lunch on Main. Let's make a conscious effort at least once a week or once every week that we will go out and we will support the businesses that are here. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I encourage you to come. I try to tell you that I think there is something different going on. I think we've hit critical mass I urge you to keep participating, to come out to the February meeting, to participate in the boards that we set up. And I think we're going to find that we have reached critical mass. So one other thing you have to do, you've got to be tolerant of change. Main Street, Virginia are going to change. If we're successful, they're going to look different. Hopefully we'll still retain the same small town feel that we have, but we want to bring people in from elsewhere. I urge you to help out with that. Thank you.
Mayor Longico, Councilman Wag, Councilman Clay, thank you very much. Very apropos words. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, good night, stay well, happy holidays, and thank you again for coming.